This month in Outer Banks history, the village of Rodanthe has traditionally celebrated Christmas 11 days late on Old Christmas. For centuries, the Christmas holiday was observed on January 5th on the Julian calendar. Then, in the 16th century, scholars realized that the Julian calendar had incorrectly calculated the length of a solar year to be 11 minutes and 14 seconds longer than it actually was, which had compounded over the centuries. In 1582, the Gregorian calendar was established and soon adopted almost universally worldwide. Under the new calendar, which we still use today, Christmas fell on December 25th. One of the very few holdouts to the new calendar system was the tiny village of Rodanthe, whose residents clung tightly to their time-honored traditions. And so, over 400 years later, Rodanthe celebrates Christmas twice: regular Christmas on December 25th and Old Christmas on January 5th. Rodanthe's Old Christmas traditions haven't changed substantially over the centuries. One of the highlights is Old Buck, a normally hostile bull who wanders in from Trent Woods once a year to socialize with the villagers and even let local children ride on his back. If the rider was naughty that year, Old Buck will buck them off in protest. In the early days of Old Christmas, a procession of local musicians would travel from house to house starting at dawn, singing to their neighbors. The musicians were supposedly led by the same drum handed down through the generations for centuries. And although this particular observance has given way to a rock concert and dancing today, the drum still serves as a powerful symbol. Both historically and today, local food has figured prominently in Old Christmas at Rodanthe. For decades, the women of the community have gathered together to make a huge batch of a traditional Eastern North Carolina dish, chicken and pastry, for the hungry villagers. Another traditional Old Christmas food is the oyster. Every year, a community oyster roast is held on Old Christmas Day and is viewed by many to be the main event of the evening. Hundreds of people gather together at communal tables to shuck and enjoy oysters procured and roasted by the local watermen. Attendees routinely consume anywhere from 10 to 40 bushels of oysters at the event. Prior to the oyster roast, an oyster shoot is traditionally held. Participants compete against one another at target shooting with shotguns, with the best marks person taking home a bushel or half bushel of oysters at the end of the competition. Old Christmas is still celebrated today. The event, now held at the Rodanthe Waves Salvo Community Center on the first weekend in January, is free and open to the public. This unique piece of Outer Banks culture offers the opportunity for locals and visitors alike to gather together, celebrate, and reflect on a tradition that dates back over 400 years. To learn more about Old Christmas or any other topic in Eastern North Carolina history, come visit us at the Outer Banks History Center. We're located at Roanoke Island Festival Park across from the downtown Mania waterfront.